A leader's butt kicking. How to take a professional butt kicking when you thought you were right, but you were wrong. Or when you knew you were wrong and got caught. Now let me preface what I mean by a butt kicking. This is a professional and tough conversation that someone in your organization is going to have with you. Now, whether you're a leader, because leaders have bosses, or you're more of a frontline employee and your boss is coming to you, and they're having a tough conversation about a mistake that you made. Now, let me also preface, a butt kicking does not mean, or ever am I implying, verbal abuse and obviously physical abuse. It's a tough conversation, or you accepting consequences for something that you did that you thought was right, or something that you did that you knew were wrong. How do we accept that butt kicking? Now, some butt kickings may be loud, and some butt kickings may be quiet. I've had both. One of the biggest and loudest butt kickings I ever had was when I was playing football. My senior year of college, our meeting started at 8 o'clock. Now, I had my watch on, and my watch said 8 o'clock. And I remember walking into that room, my coach's watch must have said 8:01. And as I walked in the room and everyone was already sitting down and my coach was standing up and me and him were the only ones standing up, this man proceeded to call me things that I've never been called in my life, talk to me up and down, and then kick me out of the meeting. I'm not promoting you as a leader, or maybe even as an employee, except some of the things that man said to me. However, what I do know is that I've been 15 minutes early since 1999. One of the quietest butt kickings I ever took. When I was an employee, I was a mental health therapist. And I walked onto the facility that I was working at, and I was supposed to be at a court date for one of my clients. To this day, I can't tell you how I missed it. Just completely over my head, I don't know how I missed it. And my boss said, "What are you doing here?" I had no answer. The next day, I came and checked my schedule, and for the next 7 days straight, which had never happened before, I had the dreaded 1 to 11 schedule. 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days straight. And I looked at him, he looked at me, we both nodded, and I never missed another court date. So whether it's loud or whether it's quiet, I guarantee you it's coming. So how do we do it? And there's 4 ways that we can accept a professional butt kicking and enhance our leadership and work-life harmony, and also that of those that are leading you. And the first thing is a leader's listen. Number 2, a leader's validity. Number 3, a leader's coaching. And number 4, a leader's thank you. A leader's listen means that as an employee, whether you are a leader accepting this butt kicking, a frontline employee accepting this butt kicking, we want to actively listen. And that may seem simple, and I guarantee you it's not. Hearing is a sense. Listening is a choice. And leaders choose to listen. And we may do that with our body language. So we're not folded, looking down, or glaring like we're gonna flatten their tires in the parking lot, because how dare they have a tough conversation with you. There are some people within organizations that say, how dare someone tell me when I was wrong, or a better way of doing things, or the company's way of doing things. So we want to be open. We may be able to position ourselves to the side. We want to make eye contact. We want to nod our heads and reaffirm. We want to be able to be willing as a listener to accept some new information. That leads us into part 2, a leader's validity. We are listening to seek something that they are right about. Guess what? My college coach, although how he said it, I'd rather not. You can't always dictate that. He was right. What was valid was, do not show up on time. On time is late. You would be surprised the gifts that come from showing up a bit early. the conversations you may have with coworkers or bosses or other people because you arrived a little bit early. There's no harm in showing up a little early to things. My other boss was right that I should not have missed that court date, and I've never missed one since that day. The next part is a leader's coaching. After you've been willing to listen, soak in information, do a leader's validity to see what they're right about. Sometimes you still may not know what to do. There are times where you're going to have your coaches coach you. Make your leaders lead you. And it may sound as simple as, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I don't want this to happen again. I'm kind of confused. What do you want me to do if this happens again, so I don't make this mistake? I thought I was right. Some of the biggest things and trepidations is, look, I thought I was right, and now somebody's telling you you were wrong. Can we remove our ego, invite theirs in, and then also make your coach or your leader lead you? I did this thinking I was right. You're telling me not to do this. Next time, what would you do? What would you suggest? And then now we're back to listening and a leader's validity. Make your coaches coach you. Make your leaders lead you. So now you have the right tools and process to be elite moving forward. The last thing is a leader's thank you. This will involve you, us, we removing our ego. Please remember this. Most leaders would rather not have to have this tough conversation with you. It is not likely that leaders wake up and say, "Ooh, I can't wait to ruin so-and-so's day today." I am a leader. I'd rather not have that conversation. I'd rather the job be done the way we discussed or without hiccups so I can go along with my busy. And your leaders feel the same. So because they don't want to have it, they may be more anxious than you about having it. Boy, it's very professional that when they have it with you, that you say thank you. Thank you for making some time to talk to me about this. I appreciate knowing how to do this the right way. This will not happen again as much as I have control over, and I appreciate you teaching me something. Thanks so much. That is not brown-nosing or kissing butt. It's what you do when somebody enlightens you. And no matter where or how that enlightenment is coming, when we can behave and engage as leaders, it not only enhances your leadership and work-life harmony, but also that of those that are leading you. And that's the gift. So guys, that is a leader's butt kicking. Recognize your leader would rather not have this conversation, is probably more anxious than you about having the conversation, and now you know what to do. When you were right or thought you were right but were wrong, or knew you were wrong and got caught. We're going to do a leader's listen. And you're going to listen, and now you know the body language of how to effectively listen. A leader's validity. What are they right about? And whether this is a boss at work, maybe a kid at home, maybe your significant other, your friend, your parents. What are they right about? Then a leader's coaching. If you really don't know or want to know their way, ask. What would you have me do when this happens again? Can you show me? Can you train me? And when that happens, great. When it doesn't, or the writing's on the wall, maybe this is not the organization or place for you. Lastly, a leader's thank you. Thank them for enlightening you. You know, I once had a coach that was riding me pretty hard. And I remember going to him, I said, "Coach, you know, you're saying my name a lot and you're on my back tough. What's going on?" And he said, "Son, the day I stop yelling at you is the day you need to be worried." Sometimes the fact that someone comes to you and you would like it a different way, the fact that they care enough to come to you and correct the situation means they care. They may care about you, the team, the win, the organization, and caring goes a long way.